Bob and David, let's remember the rule on this also. At this late stage in the race, the officials could actually throw a red flag due to rain. They would not expect everyone to come in and change tires or try and slip and slide their way around this circuit on slicks. If it's pouring on one side of the circuit, you could see a red flag. And with Ayrton Senna in the lead here in Brazil, the chances of that happening could be even greater.
Well, the lead is down to 4.1 seconds, so if they're going to throw it, they better start thinking about it. There you see Senna going down to the corner between the lakes, and that coming into the top of the picture is Riccardo Patrese. And if it's as slippery out there as it could be, both these guys will be treading carefully, but Patrese has got that carrot. Right in front of him is the race leader.
There will be 1 lap to go this time around. 2 laps to go right now, but we're working lap number 70.
There you see what Ayrton Senna's seeing. We don't see any rain on that lens. Usually pops up if you do. We don't. Yes, there is rain coming onto that lens. The track itself is looking just a little bit, yes, it's changing a little. Locking up the right front there. Obviously very, very slippery out there.
This is the part of the track, a turn known as Bico de Pato, Duck's Bill, because it happens to look like a caricature of a duck, through Mergulho, known as diving uphill, and then into Subida dos Boxes, if you'll forgive my Portuguese, climb to the grandstands.
Well, if you wanted to put your money on anybody when it gets slippery, you're going to be the guy to put the money on. But being hounded hard by Riccardo Patrese.
The flagman gives him 1 lap to go. You know, we think of Honda as the dominator in Formula One, and they are now, but it wasn't always that way. Recall that Honda began in Formula One in the 1960s, driven by a couple of Americans, Ronnie Bucknam and Richie Ginther. Senna waving to his crowd.
Hey, don't do that yet. You're not there yet, lad.
Yeah.
All that rain on that visor. Slippery down there. Tight left-hander here, 3rd gear.
Senna is a very intense man, but he is also very emotional, and I wouldn't be surprised if there are tears in the eyes of Ayrton Senna shortly. And rain coming down very heavily on the backside now. But as David has pointed out, if there's anybody you want to be driving your car in the rain, even on slick tires, it's this man.
If I wanted to get to the airport in a hurry and the conditions were a bit dodgy, that's the guy I have driving my cab.
You may need him to make your airplane tonight.
But it seems to me like he's pulled out a bit more, and I didn't see Patrese in that picture at all, which I would have expected.
And the rain now coming down in torrents on the front straightaway. What a way to end the race. The way it was all morning. Absolute horizontal rain and wind. It is coming down in sheets now, but nobody is leaving. They are rushing to the pit walls in their street clothes. No umbrellas, no ponchos. This is a very special moment in Brazil. Look at the track. It is absolutely glassy with water.
This is where the slick tires, of course, become incredibly dangerous.
It is Ayrton Senna to an absolute bedlam. Papers thrown in the air from every grandstand as he heads into the corner named for him, Senna's S. Ayrton Senna has done it. One of the few goals that he has left untouched in Formula One is now complete. He has won his home Grand Prix. Unofficially, it is Senna, Patrese, Gerhard Berger, Alain Prost, Nelson Piquet, Jean Alesi, and Roberto Moreno in the top 7. And the corner workers step out to give a Brazilian flag to Ayrton Senna. Let me unfold that for you, pal. That's okay. I'm not taking any victory laps. I'm stopping it right here. There are rooster tails coming up as cars drive slowly up the front straightaway. It is chaos here in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Oh, I wonder why Senna has decided not to do this victory lap. I wonder if it's something really was wrong with the car. As you can see, the crowd there couldn't care less about the rain, as excited, possibly almost as Senna himself.
That will
even the flag markers, dancing and embracing each other.
Nothing perhaps other than soccer inflames the passions of the Brazilians like Formula One. They have had an incredibly successful lineage of great drivers, including Emerson Fittipaldi, a world champion. including Nelson Piquet. As the celebrations continue in Victory Lane, we'll give you a look at our overall results. Ayrton Senna over Ricardo Patrese and Gerhard Berger. Alain Prost finishes 4th, Nelson Piquet 5th, and Jean Alesi picks up the final point for 6th position. The next 6, Roberto Moreno, Gianni Morbidelli, Mika Hakkinen finishing for the Lotus team, Kerry Boutsen of Belgium in the Léger, Emanuele Pirro, and Martin Brundle. Bertrand Gachot unfortunately broke with just a couple of laps remaining. A look at drivers' points after 2 events. Ayrton Senna with 10 points for each of his 2 victories, with an 11-point lead in hand over Alain Prost, who has 9. Ricardo Patrese and Nelson Piquet each with 6, followed by Gerhard Berger, Stefano Modena, Satoru Nakajima, Aguri Suzuki, and Jean Alesi. In the constructors' points, McLaren Honda lead Ferrari, followed by the Williams team, Benetton, Tyrrell, and LaRousse. Final comments now in the pit lane. Here's John Bizignano.
Well, Bob, I have to think F1's felt backward is if Nigel Mansell would not have spun, would he have been able to catch Ayrton Senna? If the rain would have come a couple laps earlier, what would have been the result? Ayrton Senna on the winner's stand, very weak, very shaken. They say that he could have gotten dehydrated, but there's going to be samba tonight in Brazil. This country is going to celebrate from corner to corner.
All right, thank you, John. David, your thoughts on this eventful day?
Well, there's no doubt about it that on the podium there, Senna looked in very, very second-hand condition. And if it had rained and he'd had to make some pretty lightning reflex movements in that car, he obviously would have been difficult. He had a problem with his arms, but unbelievably a satisfying result for him in his own country.
And as if symbolically, the sun has come out over the circuit Jose Carlos Pace to celebrate a victory by a Brazilian. Our next race will be coming your way from Imola, Italy, the San Marino Grand Prix, Sunday, April 28th at 8:30. We hope you'll be watching for that as well. For John Bizignano, David Hobbs, I'm Bob Barsha. It has been a wild day. It began and ended in rain, but there will be celebrations, as John said, all over Sao Paulo for Ayrton Senna's victory. So long from Sao Paulo, Brazil.